already here. All you have to do is open up your heart. You know God's already here. Love is here. Love is already here. Can't you feel the presence? Love's already here. All you have to do is open up your heart. You know love's already here. Again, love is already here. Can't you feel the presence? Love's already here. All you have to do is open up your heart. You know love's already here. God is already here. Can't you feel the presence? God's already here. All you have to do is open up your heart. You know God's already here. All you have to do is open up your heart. You know God's already here. Yeah. And you walk in and you get the hearts of love. Thank you, Keith. Yeah. Hearts of love. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning. Radiant love, we gather in the awareness that you are not separate from us, but the very life within us. Knowing that love is not something we earn or chase, it is what we are. Love is our origin, our essence, and our sacred inheritance. Today, we open our hearts to remember love is unlimited. It is the creative force that heals, uplifts, and unites. It is the breath of God moving through us, calling us to compassion, courage, and connection. We affirm that divine love is active here and now. It dissolves fear, softens judgment, and allows us to reunite in oneness. At this moment, we release any story that says we are separate or unworthy. We claim our identity as expressions of love itself. Oh, deep breath. Let this time together today be a conscious reminder of the truth of our divine nature. May every word spoken, every silence held, and every soul present be a channel for love's unfolding. We bless this gathering, knowing that love is the teacher, the teaching, and the transformation. Affirm with me. Love is here. Love is now. Love is me. Thank you.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. There's a calm surrender to the rush of day, when the heat of this rolling world can be turned away. An enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. Can you feel the love right now? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer that we've got this far. And can you feel the love right now? How it's laid to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. There's a time for everyone if we only learn that the twisting kaleidoscope moves us all in turn. There's a rhyme and reason to the wild outdoors when the heart of this star-crossed voyager beats in time with yours. And can you feel the love right now? How it's laid to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. Let's do the chorus. I love it when we sing the chorus. Can you feel the love right now? How it's laid to rest. How it's laid to rest. It's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best. Yeah. Laid to rest. That means it's finished. Just rest in the love. All right. Love you guys. All right. Oh. He didn't bring a sip.
He always does such a great job. Love you, Landis. Drive safely. Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Chattanooga. My name is Gloria Hastings, and I'm happy to serve today as your platform assistant. I'm happy to serve because I love this church and because I love being part of Unity. I love it because it's really helped me to grow as a person. I think in the past, my approach to life was based on the acronym WIIFM. What's in it for me? Maybe I was a little transactional, but I also was very wary and distrustful of others' motives. But today I'm a different person, and I embrace the unity path. Mindful of my thoughts, I choose compassion. Careful with my words, I offer encouragement. And intentional with my actions, I express kindness. Things that we all can do every day. And coming to Unity, being part of the services, has some perks. Each time I come to a service, I leave with a gift. It may be given during the greeting, the message, during the prayer, meditation, the music. Always a gift, and it's usually a flash of illumination, an insight, a new perspective, or in some cases, maybe I didn't express it, but I'm feeling a little down, and someone offers me an unsolicited, kind word. So all these things are really, really important. And you know, it's not just me. You too can receive your free gift while you're here today. All you have to do is keep your mind and your heart open while we have our service, and you just never know what can happen. And before I go on to our greetings, I'd like to read something to you. Oh, that print got really tiny. Okay. All right. Just to celebrate our season. As the autumn deepens, we find ourselves surrounded by so much beauty. Every person who visits here, and this is true, every heart is filled with love and laughter. Every prayer and every act of generosity fills our gathering space and helps to nurture the spirit of Unity of Chattanooga. So thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to start by giving a shout out to our Facebook friends. Hey. We love you guys. We appreciate all you regulars and all those of you who might be tuning in for the first time today. Remember to hit that like button, share your comments. And just thanks for joining us, and when and if you're able, come and see us in person. And I would also like to welcome anyone who's visiting us in person for the first time. If you'd like to raise your little hand and let us know, hey, all right, there's a little hand. Penny is going to be bringing you a packet of information, and on the back is a form you can complete if you'd like to learn more about Unity. And if anyone here would like to learn more about Unity, you picked a great day, because we have a speaker and his wife who have been involved in Unity Ministries since the first disco ball dropped back in the mid-1970s. So just a wealth of information and experience. Okay, anyone else here for the first time? Okay, I see a few familiar faces. Good to see everybody here today. Okay, now we're going to offer our visitor a very special greeting. So let's rub our hands together and get warmed up. And together we will say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. The Christ in you refers to that spark of divinity, the very same quality of being that Jesus found and expressed in his ministry. All righty then. I hear bells. Okay. We practice the truth that all people have a spiritual connection. Yes, in Unity, we believe that each of us is connected because we are all connected to God. Despite any differences in our appearances or approaches to life, we are all welcome here and we are all part of the same family. And that's why Unity practices inclusion. Again, everyone here is welcome, and I like it that way. In unity, we also believe that despite any obstacles that seem to be in our way, maybe they're our own personal obstacles, or maybe there are some really kind of big obstacles out there that impact all of us. But at Unity, we want to find a way to maintain our inner peace, to not have a meltdown every time we turn on the news or anytime we get some news that's a little bit distressing. And the practices of Unity can help us to do this, to feel more grounded and centered and more supported. We also believe that the greatest adventure in life really is doing the deep work. We take a deep dive into ourselves, looking at who we are, what do we really believe, and what do we really want out of life. There are a lot of ways to go on that journey, but the Unity way, I would have to say, is my favorite. And our desire at Unity is to call attention to the true way of living and to serve as inspiration to others. We use ancient and new wisdom. We aren't afraid to, we don't use one rigid dogma. We have many ideas that we consider. It's kind of like putting a lime in a coconut and mix it all up. It's a little more complicated than that, but you know, just saying. We try to have some fun too. Okay. We are a vibrant blend, as I said, of ancient and modern day wisdom, faith and facts, metaphysics, and science. And we want to help you live your best life ever. Okay, now some announcements. Okay, let's start off with the building fund. We're doing really well with the building fund. In fact, we're almost at a goal of $2,000 for this month, but there's a week left, so if you just got your annuity or maybe some dividends, just feel free to share. We do have a very generous donor who's agreed to match up to $40,000, so we are well on our way to that new building. Let's see, the Wellness Warriors will not be meeting this week, but we'll meet again on November the 6th. And let's see, I need to note that the drumming circle, I need a drum roll for this announcement. Oops. Okay. Heath Llewellyn tells us that the drum circle is canceled. Okay, but it will resume at some point. Stay tuned. And we have some big news. We have a fall festival coming up. Woo! If you were here last year, you know how much fun it is. You don't want to miss it. And this is going to happen next Sunday. We're going to have a band, we have live music, we're going to have food, we're going to have fun of all kinds. But you need a ticket to ride this train. And we have some tickets for sale today. I bought some last week. If you buy them today, you get a discount. You can get 25 tickets for $20. After today, the price goes up. So get in on this sale. Supplies are limited. I'm just kidding. They're really not. Okay. So at the function, we're going to have some barbecue. We're actually going to barbecue hamburgers. Barbecue, I think it's sort of like a verb. When you live in the Northeast and the South, it's a noun. Okay. Okay, so we have hamburgers and hot dogs, but take heart, vegetarians. We have some side dishes as well. And to buy this delicious food, you're going to need some tickets. And also, we have some Unity practitioners who will be available. I hope Eva's here with her massage table. Yay! Okay, I'm in. And bring your cash, your checkbooks, or your Venmo password with you. Okay.
Who do we see today?
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Eric. Linda O'Brien, come on down. That's our ticket lady. That's our ticket lady today. So see Linda, get a deal. Okay, now we have another important announcement. Next week, next Saturday, be sure and turn your clock back. Because if you show up early, we will put you to work. Yeah. And also, please keep in mind, wait, next Sunday, John Singer, our good buddy, will be back. 10-4, good buddy, John Singer. Okay. And last and certainly not least, our prayer chaplain for the day, the lovely Miss Amanda Adamson, will be happy to pray with you privately in the office. Okay, now is the time in our service, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, we get to stand up and greet one another with a hug, a handshake, a namaste, a twist, whatever you want to do. Okay, please take your seats. I don't want to hit the bang gong really hard again, so please take your seats. Okay. Okay. Please take your seats. That's true. I feel it too. You can, that's true, I did good. It's my new talent. Okay, everybody. Today's guest, as I mentioned earlier, well steeped in unity. They live at Unity Village. They've been married for 55 years. Yay! That's great. That's great. And it's not in my paper here, but I read that Reverend Jim was a navigator in the Vietnam War. So thank you for your service. And you two have been through a lot together. Yikes, okay. But, if we practiced elitism within Unity, these two would be royalty and I'd be doing this. But instead, we have two remarkable people who have dedicated their lives to helping others through their Unity ministries. Nancy, in her own right, has accomplished quite a bit. Head of a nonprofit, lots of stuff. And we all know that behind every successful man is a woman rolling her eyes. It's good. That's my version. Sorry. Okay. All right. Now, we are so grateful to have Reverend Jim Rosemergy here today and his wife, Nancy. And wow, he has done so much. It would take the rest of my time to read all the stuff that you've actually done. So I'm going to kind of truncate it just a little bit here. Let's see. He's pioneered 2 ministries, served in additional 3 churches. Oh, here's some big stuff. Oh, you're a big wig, Reverend Jim. All right. President of the Association of Unity Churches and the Executive Vice President of Unity's worldwide headquarters. Wow. Okay. And he's written over 20 books, and I've read most of them. And he's been a columnist for Unity Magazine. Very good one, by the way. And this is so impressive. I've never met anyone who had this. He received one of the highest Unity awards, the Light of God Expressing Award. So that just really, really touches me. And we're so fortunate to have him here today. So please join me in welcoming Reverend Jim Rosemergy. Yay!
I'm getting set. I hate to see you sit down. Felt like I was in a comedy routine. It was great. It was great. It's great to be back here with you all too. I'm sitting here, feeling the vibe and all the energy that's in here is just superb, and we're just happy to be back. And this is tough in a church. I'm smelling the food. Which I think is a message to probably every speaker is keep it short. We gotta eat, we gotta eat. Yeah, I get it. Well, no promises. The origin of this talk today is the state of our country. We are as divided as we have been probably since the Civil War. I'm 78 years old, and in the last year, I have heard the word hate more than at any other time in my life. We've had assassinations. We've had attempted assassinations, and anger and rage, both sides. Here's the question. So that's kind of motivates thoughts and for me to share with you today. But the question becomes, what does our spirituality ask of us? In the light of where we are, our faith, what is it we should be doing? How do we approach life in the midst of all of this? Do we mount some anti-hate program? I don't think so. I think it's love's time. And we have been told all our life long that love is the greatest power. Haven't we? Haven't you heard that again and again from when we're little? Love is the greatest power. And so this is the time for us to put that to the test. Is love really the greatest power? You know, Jesus commanded cosmic forces, but he only gave us one commandment. Love one another. Now that is a handful, but Jesus didn't stop there. He made it worse. He said this, love one another as I have loved you. Oh my goodness. That's tough stuff. And what he must be saying to us is that we have an incredible capacity for love. There is a potential for love that's in us that's nearly indescribable. It's amazing. It's truly one of the greater things. So it's there. We have that. Give you an example. Look for a story of something incredible. Do you know the name Henry Suso? You know that? How about Meister Eckhart? You know that name? Well, Henry Suso, Johannes Thaler, Henry Suso was a contemporary of Meister Eckhart. Lived the late 1300s, early 1400s. They were mystics. They're part of a group called the Friends of God. They circulated tracts, like big pamphlets, of mystical writings. And Henry Suso was a monk, a mystic. He lives in this little village. And he's falsely accused of fathering a child. And he never denies it. He never challenges the woman. He never condemns the woman. And he helps to raise the child. And so someone that knew that Henry had not fathered this child said to him, why in the world haven't you denied this? Why haven't you said, I have not done this? Because the people of the town are shunning him. Religious figures are coming down on him. But he never denies it. And he never condemns the woman. He never has any harsh words for the woman, and he helped to raise the child. And the person said, and by all means, why have you helped to raise the child? And hear what he said. Because the child needed my help. Because he didn't make it about himself. There was a child that was going to be born and live. And maybe the woman knew the kind of man that Henry was. And she accused him because he knew, maybe she knew, that he would treat the child with respect and help to raise it. Who knows? We don't know. But we have the incredible capacity for love. What about soldiers in combat that fall on grenades to save the lives of their comrades? And it's said that no greater love has anyone than to give their life for another. We have an incredible capacity for love. Shortly after World War II, as you can well imagine, there were a lot of orphans all around the world. Great Britain, they had orphans, and they had orphanages and lots of little infants. And they were being cared for, being fed, clothed. They were cleaned. They were warm. But there was an alarming infant mortality rate. And so they mounted a study. What's going on? It's called the Bowlby study. And they mounted this study to determine, why are these children dying when they are being cared for? And so they did their study. Here's what they found. Although the children were being fed and they were clean, they were warm, they were clothed, they weren't being picked up. They weren't being held. The little ones didn't have that opportunity to wrap their little hand around your pinky, you know, the cooing and all the interaction. And so they instituted a policy that every one of these children had to be picked up and played with each day. And this alarming mortality rate, it reversed itself. And the conclusion was that the children needed to be loved. And that's what you would think. It's logical, isn't it? But I tell you, that didn't sit right with me. I didn't think that was the right conclusion. Now, I wasn't alive back in those days. I may look like it, but I wasn't alive back in those days. But I drew a different conclusion. You see, you have a little infant, a little tiny thing like so. But what's inside there? That's a spiritual giant. The image and likeness of God is in that little body. And being made in the image and likeness of God, love is our essence. It doesn't need to be added to us. And so I drew a conclusion. That was the children lived, not because they were loved, but because they had an opportunity to love. And apparently, if you don't have that opportunity when you're a little one, you can die. But they were picked up. They had the opportunity, even as little infants, to express love. And I think that's why they live. And so for adults, we kind of moved past that stage, and we're adults, and we've moved out of that danger zone, so to speak. But if we're not expressing love, apparently when you're an adult, you don't die. You just don't live. You're not living in the way that you're capable of living. You're not expressing some kind of incredible potential that happens to be in you. So in the light of these kinds of things that I'm saying to you, what do we do with what's happening here in our world? What do we do with the hate? And maybe the approach we should take is the approach that the sun takes on the night, which it doesn't contend with the night. The sun is true to what it is. It shines. It comes up every day, and, you know, midnight here, this place was shrouded in darkness. For thousands of miles, there was darkness. And then the sun came up, and it was no more. Because it's time for the light. And in our case, it's love's time. So what are we going to do? September 24th, I wrote something on Facebook, a post, kind of a long post. I'm going to read you a portion of it, just 3 paragraphs, a little bit later. But in that post, I outlined a number of things to do. Because what I think we need to do, the work that we have before us in the vein of what we're talking about today, is for a consciousness of love to unfold in us. For us to open our hearts so that something that's within us is expressed. And so I'm going to suggest a whole bunch of ideas to you of what we can do to help establish that consciousness. And then out of that consciousness, we can speak, we can act, we can live, we can do all the things that need to be done. But what is required first is the consciousness. So are you ready for a bunch of stuff? If you're someone that's prone to write stuff down, get it. Because you're going to hear a whole bunch of things today. First one, you begin with reading. I want you to read a love poem, a poem on love. Maybe something like from The Prophet by Khalil Gibran on love. Now, that particular poem, there's nothing mushy and gooey about that poem. It is a challenge to your very being. Maybe you want to read something about Rumi. Maybe you want to read 1 Corinthians 13th chapter, Paul's treatise on love. You're beginning to turn your mind in that direction. I want you to get yourself into Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and find every single thing that Jesus talked about regarding love. Every single thing. Think you can do that? Let me say, I want to make sure I've got a whole list of these things. I want to make sure that we've got them all. Oh, yeah. I knew there was one that was missing. I want you to find 5 stories of the incredible expression of love. Like Henry Suso, Soldiers in Combat. There are examples all across this earth in all cultures, all throughout history, of people who are doing incredible things, and they will inspire us. I want you to read and find 5 of them. You with me? Yes. We're just getting started. So that's reading. And then we want to begin, well, that's reading. Now we want to begin writing. In our home, little Post-its about this big, we have on every single mirror in our house, we have written, "It's love's time." So when my beautiful wife goes to look at herself in the mirror, she sees, it's love's time. It's love's time. I want you to write 5 love notes that are anonymous. And maybe what you'll just do is just write on the card. I've done this just recently. Sent one to the White House. Said, "It's love's time." And so I want you to do 5 love notes in which you don't put your name. They're anonymous. And I want you to do 5 more in which you do sign your name. So 10 love notes. Can you imagine what would happen if everybody around the world started doing that? Then love notes started arriving at people's houses. I want to show you something. We just had these made. We had them made for you. Says, it's a fridge magnet. We're really into those, aren't we, Nance? It says, "It's love's time." We just had these made for you today. And after the service in this back room, there's one waiting for you. So come on back and make sure that you have that. Okay? When you came in today, you received a little, what do they call those things? Ziploc bags, yeah. And in it, there were red hearts. Nancy and I made those red hearts. We had a die made, and this is quite a number of years ago. We made 1,250,000 red hearts. You are receiving like the last 1,000 of those. And we had a not-for-profit corporation, and every time we sent a letter, we put red hearts in there. Every time we sent a journal, we put red hearts in there. When we were in restaurants, we gave red hearts as tips. Money, too. Money, too. In bills, we did that. The drive-through window at the bank, we would always give the person there, red hearts. And then we started driving by, and then there were red hearts all over the glass. When we walk somewhere, we drop them on the ground. Go to Home Depot, we just set them on the edges. And we did something incredible with those. Let me tell you. We were on a camping trip. We were in the D.C. area. We were going to D.C. to do some sightseeing. And Nancy just had this compulsion, we must do something. There's something we have to do. And I was in. And so we took a bus into D.C. and we hopped out and we got ourselves heading very quickly, fastest I've ever seen Nancy walk, to the Capitol. We were looking for a Capitol police officer. We saw one way over there on a motorcycle. And then we lost track of him, and we just kind of walked up the steps. And then he had been making his rounds, and there he was over there, and we motioned for him to come over. And he came over, and we said, we just want to thank you for defending the Capitol on January 6th. And we took those red hearts, each of us, and we gave him some. He took off his glove, put it in his hand, and then put the glove back on. He said, I don't want to lose him. And by this time, Nancy and I are in tears. We're just sobbing. It was so emotional for us. I mean, I can feel it right now just talking about it. And he said to us, you did this the right way. And then afterwards, there was a couple, elderly couple. They were probably younger than we were. But they were over there, and we were just walking, and I'm just sobbing. And I cry all the time, so it's no big deal. Not bad for somebody who was in the Navy in Vietnam, but, you know, I'm just crying. They're probably thinking, what in the world happened to those two people? And that's what happened, expressing the love. So that brings us to more expressions of love. When you're downtown, you see a homeless person, give them some money. Give them a blessing. And when you're with your beloved and you're walking into Home Depot, we do this all the time. Didn't start on September 24th. Hold hands. Just hold hands with your beloved when you're out and about. Paint giant red hearts on crosswalks in your town, here in Chattanooga. Do that. Maybe you want to have a t-shirt that said, it's love's time. Maybe you want to get your own hearts, have those made. You see, friend, we've got to do these things so that this consciousness begins to build in us. Build in us. And so, what are you going to do? All these things I'm talking about, I'll tell you what part of my suggestion would be. Your board and whoever your committees are, get some people together and determine what you're going to do. And you've got quite a consciousness of love in here anyway. So you are well on your way. But you get together and determine the things that you're going to do, and don't be limited by the things that I'm talking to you about as well. Do these things and see where they will take you. So that's one thing. The other thing I would say to you, when you go home today, sometime during the day, sit down and meditate on 2 verses of Scripture. First one, that incredible challenge. Love one another as I have loved you. Jesus' statement. And then he makes this other statement. And it is, love your neighbor as you love yourself. A lot of people think of that as some kind of suggestion. It's not. It's a statement of the way it is. You do love your neighbor in proportion to how you love yourself. And you look at what's going on in the country and the world today, and it's pretty obvious. We could say the focus is typically, we're not loving each other. The real focus and the real message is from that verse of Scripture is, we're not loving ourselves. That's what's going on. That has to happen first. And so this whole thing begins with forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for what you've thought, what you've said, what you've done, the post you posted, the post you've liked, all of those things. Forgiving yourself. That's hard work. It is. You know, do you think there is enough love in humanity to heal the world? Do you think there is? I do. I think there's enough love in us to heal the world. But it's up to us. Nobody's coming to straighten things out. It's our responsibility. Each individual beginning with forgiveness and going from there. And I'm with you. I'm in the thick of that just like everybody else. And so in just a moment, I'm going to stand like right there. Maybe I'll go right over here. And I'm going to say to you, because this will help me, will you accept me just the way I am? Because, you know, the beginning of this forgiveness of self is you have to accept yourself the way you are. And sometimes it's helpful. I mean, it's something we've got to do. But sometimes it's helpful to have somebody say in response, we accept you just the way you are. So I would like for nothing better that when I stand over there and I say, will you accept me just the way I am, that you as one great soul with one voice would say, we accept you just the way you are. So let's see if we're going to begin. Will you accept me just the way I am?
We will accept you just the way you are.
Thank you. Thought a little hesitation. No. Thank you. Thank you. And then I have another question. Who here will just stand right where you are and say to this body of believers, some of your dear friends, no doubt, that you will just stand right where you are and say to this body, will you accept me just the way I am? Yes, sir.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are.
Feels good. I recommend it.
Not we will, we accept you. Will's future. Now. We accept you just the way you are. Who else? Are you getting ready? No? I'm looking forward to it. Anybody moves, I'm after you. Yes, ma'am.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Yes, ma'am. We accept you just the way you are. We accept you just the way you are. Yes.
Will you accept me just as I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Yes, sir.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Yes.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Thank you. Yes.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Good. Anyone else? Yes.
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
Will you accept me just how I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Thank you. Yes.
Will you accept me just the way I am?
We accept you just the way you are. Thank you. You know, when you stand up to do that in this body of people, you're not taking much of a chance. But you are. You are. And I'll bet for some of you, before you stood up, your heart was pounding out of your chest. Isn't that true? For some of you, it's pounding out of your chest because you're not sure. And it proves just how important that is with one another. Yes.
Will you accept me just the way I am in all my heart?
We accept you just the way you are. And you all know now, it's love's time. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think what we need to do next, and you all do it this way naturally, and I love it, which is you have a lesson. But the most important part is not the lesson. It's your relationship and the interaction with the divine. And so I love the idea of meditation coming second, because whatever we're talking about, now we get to take that inside and see what happens with it. So, shall we do that? And just take a deep breath with me. There appear to be many here, but it's not true. Only one. One presence. One power. One mind and heart. Filled to overflowing. Each of us true to what we are. Like those tiny infants so long ago. A longing within them. Not to be loved, but to love. I am that child. Same longing lives in me. How many times I've pushed it aside, looking for love, wanting to be right, angry. Now all I want is to express what I am. That would be enough. For what I am is immense. An expression of the divine, of the one, of love itself. And so I speak those things. But it is time, love's time. In everything I do, to declare love is what I am. Love is that greatest power. And it lives best in fresh air, out in the world, breathing like the trees and the plants, flowing like the sea and the rivers. Love expressed. It's love's time. And so let's just take a few moments, the one great soul we are, and rest in the silence and let it do its work, to hear its call. It's love's time in the silence. It's love's time. Words waiting to be spoken. Shall we join together and declare it's love's time together? It's love's time. Softly again. It's love's time. Silently. It's love's time. And so it is. Amen. I want to, I forgot to read you this one thing I said I wanted to read. I may not see you again for a long time, so let me read it to you. Wait a minute. Got to be able to see in order to read, right? These are just 3 little paragraphs from this post from September 24th. Imagine millions of us not saying a word about love, or even saying to one another, I love you, but giving constant attention to unity, oneness, and love through loving acts. Love without a voice, love not heard, love seen, love in action. What if tiny red hearts began to appear everywhere? What if people walking with heavy hearts looked on the pavement before them and saw a tiny red heart? Would it make a difference? What if love notes were written and received by people everywhere? What if thousands of anonymous notes arrived at the White House? What if someone wrote a song entitled, It's Love's Time? What if crosswalks in cities and towns were adorned with large red hearts? What if ICE officers were given red hearts? What if guards gave red hearts to illegal immigrants housed in facilities? It's a vision. It's a vision. And I think now our time is one of love offering. And I thought I might just, if you got time, I'll tell you a story. Some of the most joyful times in my life, aside from marrying my wife and the birth of our children, but the most incredible, joyous times of my life have been in expressions of generosity. To the point of shaking, trembling. I once did a Sunday lesson called Trembling in God's Presence. Let me tell you the story. You got time? Okay. We were on vacation. We were down at the beach. It was raining, so, you go to stores. And I'm sporting goods, so I'm in sporting goods. I'm wandering around, and there's a kid in there who's doing a transaction. He's buying a soccer ball. And he must have had, stuff he'd been saving up because there's, crumpled dollar bill and lots of coins spread out all over. And the clerk tabulates it all up and doesn't have enough money. Probably forgotten tax or something. And so I went into my wallet and I took out, it was just less than $1. I gave him $1. And the clerk that said, finish the transaction. And as soon as I released that $1, I was shaking. My whole body was shaking. That's how filled I was with joy. And it was a single dollar bill. And there was a little bit of change, and the clerk said, here's your change. I said, I'll give it to the kid. And I was walking around, and the kid came by with his soccer ball. He got right next to me, running, and he said, thanks. And off he went. To this day, I'm not sure that was a real kid. If you understand what I mean? It could have been angels unaware. Because the effect was so profound just from that act of generosity that I wondered if I had an opportunity and I took it, and it made all the difference. The other time in my life where I was bouncing off the wall with joy was the anticipation of donating a kidney to a man named Carl Ozier. Carl and I talked on the phone just last week, and as a Unity minister. And you can imagine we're good friends. At least he thinks highly of me anyway. But I donated that kidney to him, and I was bouncing off the wall at the house, and Nancy was saying, what in the world is wrong with you? And it was just because the anticipation of giving. And so I say that to you as a prelude to the love offering, that you have an opportunity for incredible joy. That's the way it is. So are there ushers to come up? Is this what's next? Or are you singing next? Or are you singing while we're taking up the love offering?
I'll be singing while you're singing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Ah, okay. Thank you, sir. Let's declare together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I receive in abundance. And so it is.
We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And we pray that our unity may one day be restored. And they'll know we are family by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are family by our love.
Well, let's just be still again, once again, and touch that divine source within us. These generous gifts overflowing with love, going forth into the world to carry the message. It's love's time. And so it is. Amen. And don't forget, after the service, to step back here. There's a bunch of books to take a look at, but there's a free gift of a fridge magnet. A fridge magnet. Don't forget the fridge magnet. They're very important.
I'm putting some love in here right now.
What's that?
I said I put some love in here right now.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's overflowing. Who's next? Are you next?
I am. Back.
Okay.
Thank you, Reverend Jim. That was a wonderful, outstanding message. I'm blown away. I can barely talk, but I'll try. Whew. Well, thank you so much for joining us, you and your lovely wife. We really appreciate it. Before we go, I just want to remind everyone about the tickets. You got a ticket to ride? But you do, I care. Oh, excuse me. So we want to get your tickets for next week's event. Don't forget that. And please feel free to stick around and join us for lunch and fellowship. And let's all stand and do the peace song. Oh, wait. There's more. Oh, don't forget about your chance to have Jim Rosemergy in your own home by reading one of his books or several of his books, all kinds of books back there, or just drop by and get your magnet. Okay, everyone, let's join hands.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God our Creator, in oneness all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.